Oh, hi there. It's Monday and the start of a new week. Here I am on Shogi Wars, going to be playing 10-minute games of Shogi and hoping for the best. I've changed the voice to Yuki Muroya, and that will be a change from Tsukada Sensei, who was the voice last Friday, and then we had Fujimori and Manao and a lot of others. But I think it's been a while since Muroya Sensei has been the voice. So that's what we're going to do. Still no BGM. I'm still keeping the BGM off for a bit here. Maybe if I switch to 3-minute games at some point, you know, when I play 3-minute games, maybe I'll put that back on. But for now, we're going to keep it off. Just keep it a little calm, a little calm. So, all right, without further ado, there's a coach waiting. Ooh. Without further ado, let's jump in. 10 minutes. Shodan, Subway Work.
対局開始。
よろしくお願いします。
嬉野流。
I'm a little tired. I am definitely a little tired, little not lightheaded, but okay. Goes there. I get this. This is very similar to a line I think that I saw Urshinaryu Channel play recently. Slightly different now. Wow, what is that? What is that? Drop the silver back here. Semi-teleport bogeying. Ah. What's he gonna do there? Looking good. Sumero. Hmm. I have a lot of time. Hmm. Did not see that one. Wow, it's looking good for my opponent. Should I have just dropped a pawn back there? Hmm. He has a silver. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Drop a silver? And then I run? Hey, Dodovsky. Thank you for the raid. Hey, Foradun, nice to see you. Do I have mate? That is the question. Do I have mate? I have no way to even, well, I can run here. So I can do this, and then I push the pawn to give myself to protect the knight and to give myself a runway. Oh no, I can't run there. I can't run there because the bishop diagonal. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Tataki. No, Tataki, it's still mate. It's still mate. Silver, gold. Okay. Yeah, Tataki is still mate. Good game. Good game. Silver 2-7 might have been the losing move. Well, I mean, I didn't see any others. So if you've got a suggestion, I will take it. All right. I think I should have Well, I don't. It was Tumero against me. I think I had to mate. All right. So I think the move here. So did I not click the layout? Oh, sorry. I thought I did. I clicked it. Um. So I think I just needed to drop a pawn or go back. What if I take the rook? I take the rook. Yeah, my problem is I underestimated the silver 4-7 move. I didn't see the silver 4-7. So I think I'm fine here. Hey, chess fan. Seem like I don't know what I want to do half the time. Yeah, it's a complicated game. It is a very complicated game. I think my visualization is improving, but it's not where it needs to be. Hey, Ivan. Yeah. Yeah, I need to adjust to the time. You know, I played 2 hour and 15-minute game yesterday over the board, and it was fantastic. And you know, engine wise, we both played great. It was for a very sharp, very tricky game. Neither of us made a what Lee Shogi categorized as a blunder, and I'm just real proud of the game. You know, even though I lost, it was a great game. But you know, we were just thinking. I'm also tempted here to make this exchange. Actually, what about this? 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 The point is I want to get this bishop out of here. No, it's not. I think that's winning. I think that's winning. Because now I can do now I can get now I have 2 silvers. I can give up one of those to get my 1 gap and get the knight. And then I can solidify. Now there's no pressure, so I can move my bishop out. Also, the bishop coming out also will do it. All right. That's a good first game. I rushed. I had, I felt the win. I felt the win in my grasp. I rushed. Yeah, silver 8 3 before that move would look good. Yeah. Yeah, agreed. My only concern there is that he runs to the right. But that's probably going to be fine anyway. I get the rook, force him over. I take the silver. Yeah. All right. So I rushed a game.
Loss.
I felt the win.
Streak is 1 loss.
If this was even a discussion topic on the Starpoint Go podcast this morning, one of the things that Cho Hun-yun had told his student, Yi Chang-ho, that I can't remember now. But basically, when ending the game, or don't rush to win the game, something like that. And you need stamina. Like if you don't have stamina, you can't if you don't have enough stamina, you rush to win the game. But you don't need to rush a 1 game. I mean, obviously that breaks apart sometimes when you have a mutual attack, but anyway, all right, let's go. Great game, great start. But like I said, I am slow. I am feeling lightish headed. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. All right. Back to familiar lands. Back to familiar territories. Oh, we're not getting Torizashi, unfortunately. Oh, maybe we are. Although this will not categorize as Torizashi now. Today you lost the game where your opponent had half the board in hand and they didn't rush it. That seems to be the key. Wow. So if he takes, what do I do with my silver? Do I promote or do I? Yeah, I promote to force him back. I like that. Should I drop a pawn? No, because that'll give him time. Dropping a pawn will give him time to come back. Wait, no. So take the bishop. He takes the knight. I promote. He brings the rook back. And then I'll all right. All right. Let's do this. Oh! Not what I was expecting. Ah, okay. Interesting. Wow. All right. I've got lots of pieces. He's got no pawns. He's got no pawns. So a lance drop. Well, we'll just get a knight. We'll just get a knight. No, it won't. Do I have mate? Do I have mate? Okay. So this piece needs some defense. So I can drop a rook. I think I have plenty of defense, even if he drops another knight. Wow. I don't want to take the bishop because I don't want to give up a bishop. I don't want him to attack the bishop. He doesn't have enough pieces to mate. All right. Let's... Ooh. Wait, that's not... That doesn't do anything. Does it? It gets him a fork. Shori. ありがとうございました。Shori. The only move I want to look at is the silver takes bishop. So this move, I think I learned my lesson last time something like this happened. You know, last time I defended with the silver. He sacked. You know, I came up. Thank you. Oh. I came up last time something like this happened. I came up, sacked. I don't have it today. I think my brain is. So he took, you know, I took, you know, stuff like this. Or you know, other shenanigans started happening. I don't remember what it was, but the opponent made lots of shenanigans, and in that case, just running the king was the safer approach because it completely gets out of the bishop. The bishop can't. The bishop has nowhere to go. The bishop is really just dead. Well, I mean, he can go back. But but all the threats end. And obviously this is going to become something as it was. But anyway. The move I wanted to look at was this. So if I drop the pawn, there are a couple things. If he jumps, well, then this is free. Then this is free and this is great. Then this is free and this is great. All right, yeah. Okay, so I saw that because the pawn drop. So I thought this would happen. Then I take with the pawn, make my token. He takes, I take, and now I just that's some not great visualization on my part. Okay. Because the bishop is hanging now. So I think the only way to save the bishop is to give up the silver. Give up the silver here. Could drop the knight, or I could just push this pawn. Yeah, then I push the pawn. Then he drops the pawn. Yeah, the silver 7-8 after attacks the dragon as well. So I take, he takes, I take, it's check. Well, but the pawn is protecting this hanging bishop now. Gold takes. That looks good. That looks good. But I don't like the fact that he has a rook now. So let's look at that other one. Silver after attacks the dragon. So I drop silver takes silver 7-8. Silver 7-8. There's no defense for that. So that blocks the defense of this square. Yeah. I like that. That is very nice. Very nice and slow. And if I want to, obviously I can do this. I probably should do that first, but later I can also do this. Because I guess he'd have to go. Wait, silver drops 7-8 after attacks the dragon? Wait. Sente silver drop 7/8. Right here? Wait, what? Yeah. I'm Gote. Oh, you're okay. When you said Sente silver drop 7/8, I thought you meant Sente as if I was Sente, the coordinates. Okay, okay. Sente could play silver drop 7/8. Oh, let's look. Let's look. Let's look. Let's look. Okay, so and then Sente silver drop 7/8. Ah. Okay. Okay. So I get a knight. So it's my move. He has to protect his bishop, otherwise he's going to lose it to the pawn push. So he might just push this. And that also, well, that doesn't open up that. Well, that'd be real rough then. Personally, for Goto, you much prefer the line where Sente's king is exposed and they lost a bishop, even if they have a useless rook in hand. Well, I guess that's what Foradun's line is show. I think if they defend this way, they don't have to give up that rook, or they don't have to change rooks. They don't get to exchange rooks, and I don't get that position. But I think this is going to fall apart as well. So like he has to. I think he has to take with this. No, he can drop a pawn. I think he has to drop a pawn here. I think he has to drop a pawn. Just give it up. Because otherwise I would take, and then fork. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So which one? So long story short, I think the pawn drop is better. I think the hey Oregao Moniwa, Emperor Rex, good day. Good day to both of you.
Win.
Okay.
Current streak is 1 win.
All right. All right, let's try another. I'm doing my best to hang in there. My head is swimming a bit.
あなたが先手です。
Another showdown.
対局開始。
よろしくお願いします。
嬉野流。
嬉野流。Is this Murata system, sort of? He's trapped. What's he gonna do? Oh, I don't have a pawn. He's not trapped. He's not trapped. He's not trapped. He's not trapped. Not yet. If he drops that pawn, if he drops the pawn, Shogi is a game about checkmating the rook. Ah, nice. Wait, no. Hold on. Do I have bigger threats? How do I not get forked here? I mean, I guess I didn't play this ideally. So yeah, the plan there was this. The plan was to hope he jumped to that side. That was a little bit of hope, Shogi. Nice. 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 So he takes, what should I do? What should I do? Should I run? I think I run. I think I'll run. Fun game. Is Urashino Ryu the most aggressive setup to face? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I actually don't know what is considered the most aggressive. I think Demon Killer is awfully aggressive. So he takes. I think I am settled on he runs. He goes back, and I come over here. If he brings his silver back, what do I do? Then I drop the silver here. That doesn't feel so good. If he brings the silver back, what do I do? I bring my rook over. Defend this square. Then he drops the silver. Then I bring up the gold. Or I drop another silver. Or I drop the gold. I bring up the gold. It's an interesting position. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know why he's thinking this long. Is it possible he had to go somewhere, or just really just calculating it all out? He takes, I run. I think I'm pretty solid in that. So he takes, I run, he drops a silver. I come up here. Quick Ishida is pretty aggressive. Yeah, definitely is. Though Torizashi seems to slow it down a bit, maybe. Sotobisha seems pretty aggressive. Similar to Quick Ishida in a way. Except it's aiming, at that weak point. Yeah. This is tense. The tension is rising. The tension is rising. Okay. He drops that silver. I'm gonna come here and then trade. Ah.
7分
Is the bishop trapped? Sort of, kinda, not really. So I'm thinking of coming up. I'm gonna come up and then get my rook. So I double that file, and I come in and take the gold. Protect against that. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But I think I would have rather had it there. I think I would have rather had it there. Should I get my knight up? Or maybe I should get my king over. Should get my king over. Come back. What does he do? He forks. Go back. He forks. No. Yeah. I wish I would have left that back. Hmm. So I'm gonna take this pawn. No, let's do this first. Let's do this first. Oh shoot. I should have taken the pawn while I had the chance. God, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. That's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Okay.
5分
Oh, he's got a gold fork. Oh, wow.
時間切れがち。
arigatou gozaimashita. Okay, Koshiro. Hey, Koshiro. Hey, Nin World. Hey, everybody. Koshiro comes in. Koshiro comes in at my lowest moments. He comes in at my lowest moments. He didn't come in when I had this great advantage. Or I'm going to guess a great advantage. Hey, Nova SWAT.
Win.
Everyone's
Current
coming
streak
in.
is 2 wins.
Everyone's coming in. Rook 5-8 instead of silver 6-6. So I try, Shogi is a game about capturing the rook. He should have resigned, just like Gukesh yesterday. Just like Gukesh yesterday, my opponent should have just resigned. Hashtag just resigned. First decision. First decision. So the game is over already. I already captured the rook. So the rest of the game is basically just a this is the PGA. So this is the PGA from here. Like I Dream of Shogi said that he had a great way of putting it. When I talk about how when the opponent asks for a take back, like in an over the board game, like I sort of lose I lose all sort of sense of care about the game anymore, like the reality. He said that when someone does a take back, we're now in PGA. And that's the way that I try to think about it now, that it's just, when we're doing that. But now also once the rook is captured, and once the rook is captured, the rest of the game is just a PGA. Okay, you like that rook drop. Okay. Yes, I saw it on the. You saw. Oh, wait. You were there. You were there, Ivan. You're there at the event. Oh, you probably meant you watched it live on stream. Okay. Oh, my brain just like assumed this incredible scenario by which you're watching, these great players. I did not see it on Twitch. I was periodically checking on the game, and I saw that the game was over, but Gukesh wouldn't resign for some reason, and then I came back later. I tell you, if Magnus Carlsen dislikes losing a one game that much, do not play Shogi. Do not play Shogi. That's my only advice to the young world champion. If you dislike losing that much, he's not a world champion anymore. He's not the world champion anymore. If you there's a follow. I forget 6PL. Greetings. Yeah, if you dislike losing a winning position that much, do not play Shogi. There's no risk of that because he doesn't like Shogi. But he has played Shogi and he doesn't like it. He's not younger than me. True. Thank you, Koshiro. Thank you. We're about the same age. We're about. Yes. If you don't, you'll simplify. If you don't like losing, don't play. Well, an argument can be made and has been made many times that that hatred of losing is the fuel, is one of the fuels that drives sheer greatness. And I, as someone who does not like to lose, and who's gotten pretty good at some things, I do sort of believe in that. Like, I don't know if maybe there are. I'm not aware of many. Like, I think in an interview a while back, who's the now he's known as the Twitter clown of the chess world. But he used to be a top 10 player. Oh my gosh. Anish Giri. He was being interviewed, and I think he was interviewed, I believe it was after he won the, it was after he won Vaikanze. And I think he said that they were asking about, why don't you show more emotion, or do you not mind losing, or something like that. And he said nobody in the top 20 likes to lose, or they wouldn't be in the top 20. So there's some people show it more politely than others, obviously. And even Magnus has never done, as far as I know, has never done something like this. So many shots fired. I'm firing shots because my head is swimming. Like I said earlier, my head is swimming. I think it's because I've lowered my caloric intake for the past week. I am really low on calories, so maybe that's it. But also maybe I'm still drained from yesterday's over the board game. It was the longest over the board game that I've ever played. We played 2 hours, and I think it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. 130 some moves. I didn't win, as I said, but I do think it was one of my better games that I've ever played. And it was, Lee Shogi didn't say there were any blunders from either of us. And I thought I had chances. In the end, I didn't. If you look at the graph, I did not. I thought I was winning. Like, I thought I was winning. But it was just I think it was just one move away almost the entire time. Can't complain about long pro games anymore. Yeah, well, my entire game was 2 hours and 15 minutes. Nagase takes 15 minutes to play the most obvious Joseki move in move 7. Anyway, yeah. I see a question. Should you? Anyway, yeah. So I don't know what it is with my head. I am definitely feeling. I'm thinking about changing it up because it's. I don't know if I can focus so much right now. Nova SWAT, your question: should you prep for TTJ? You were one game from 6Q earlier. You are taking one of my podcasts. This is one of my podcast topics. This is, I have a list of topics that I'm building and augmenting, and I'm still not pulling the trigger yet on the podcast, but I am getting closer and closer and closer and closer to actually doing it. So this is one of the questions, and I think the answer is complicated. I think it is. I do think, it depends what you're going for, obviously. Like, are you going for growth? Are you going to TTJ is a competition. You're competing. It's not just about the ranking. You are competing. You want to do your best. I think at that level, and I'll say at my level as well, I think it's worth knowing what your opponent plays. Like, if your opponent plays a particular thing, I think it is totally reasonable to not go completely overboard into 10, 20, 30 move lines. But I think it's totally reasonable. If some people will say no, you should not prep. But I think knowing what your opponent is likely to play and refreshing your memory with some of the moves that you would play against that, or some of the themes, I think is totally reasonable. I don't prep often. There are for the only I have prepped or I regularly prep for two people in my life. It's the person I play with every Sunday, and then it's another person who, ratings wise, is the strongest person I've ever won against. So, just because he plays the same approach or played the same approach versus me when I played Nakabisha. So I prepped against those two players, and I enjoy the process. I think that's a key too. Do you enjoy the process of preparing and trying to figure out ideas and trying to learn the meanings of some of these moves? I think if you're looking for the meanings in the moves, that sort of preparation will also help your regular game, I believe. What do I know? My highest rating is at 81 Dojo, and it's just Shodan. So, I'm 1Q on Shogi Wars. So, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But I think especially if you enjoy it, and especially if you feel like you're getting things out of it, I think it's worthwhile. Whether it's the most optimal way to be spending your education dollars, your time dollars, I think that that's a different discussion. My guess is that no, it might not be, but if it gives you confidence and you enjoy it, why not? Why not? Like really, we're all we all play these games for different reasons, but and everyone is different. And you might discover a love of opening study. Like, people like to criticize opening study a lot, but if someone enjoys doing it, more power to them. What's wrong with that? You enjoy studying openings? If you study openings and you say, I enjoy studying openings, that doesn't, when people say, I enjoy studying openings, and then they sort of get criticized, but they're not saying I study openings because it is the best way to play shogi, or it is the best way to learn chess, or I study openings because and everyone else should. It's a personal decision. It's definitely a personal decision. And in fighting games, just to change the topic from shogi to fighting games, like Street Fighter type games. There are people who are called lab monsters, where they can do massive combos. They're great. You might see, they might have a YouTube channel or whatever. Did I lose? Am I off the network? No. Oh, no, I'm not. You might, these people they're called lab monsters, where they just train. They train and they practice their combos. And then, they actually play a game and, they get whooped, or, they're doing combos that, the top players will struggle with. But, if the top player plays them, they just demolish them, because there's a lot more to fighting games than just combos, spacing and mind games. There's so much to it. But these guys aren't saying they're the greatest players. It's just they enjoy it. And, who knows? Maybe, if we didn't have some of these lab monsters in shogi, maybe we wouldn't have Urshin or Ryu. Maybe we wouldn't have a lot of the new openings. Some people just like to play with that. So I think the long-winded answer is, without going too long, is that I think it's totally reasonable. I don't think it should be required. And I don't think I I don't think I prepared for anyone. No, that's not true. That's not true. I was going to say, I don't think I prepared for anyone until I was 2Q on Shogi Wars, but that's not true. I think I was 4Q, 4 and 3Q when the East Bay Shogi Club started. So, like as I said as I've said in the past, there was also a kid. There was also a young kid there. And now that I say I only prepared for 2 people, I also prepared for this kid, and that's how I built a lot of my Nakabisha versus Static Rook lines was against this kid, and I thought it helped me. It helped me, and I learned more things. I learned more ideas. I got more practice with the right way or some other ways, and to me, I came up with a novelty using the engine. I came up with what I thought was a novelty, but was actually one of the sharpest, I guess you'd call it Joseki, lines there are. This Chokyusen variation. I sort of independently developed that with the engine, and but I guess my only word against it is that just make sure you're doing the other things as well, studying your games, doing Tsume. More people in the shogi world will tell you that they got good, they got strong by doing Tsume, by doing lots of Tsume. More people will tell you that than I don't know if I know of anyone. I don't think I know of anyone who said, I got strong by studying the opening. Maybe there are, but I'm not sure. There's that American player, I don't know if he's around anymore, Synchro, where in the old days, in my mind, I think of him as like this Nakabisha sort of specialist. I'm not sure if he was like a opening lab monster. He got to about Shodan, I think. Wait, but so also the so many shots fired. What were these? What were the shots? The shots, the subtle shots on Anish and maybe Gukesh. Todowski, you say the preparation method. I'm gonna bring up the chat on this screen. The preparation method, but now it's off this part. The preparation method may also matter. Preparing exclusively with an engine will eventually cause burnout of some sort, you imagine. Yeah, well, I just think it needs some finesse. As someone who does like using the engine and preparing with the engine, because I have no other way, because I can't read Japanese books. I think it requires a little finesse, and it requires it requires reflection on every move, and reflection on each candidate move. Because when you're playing and you're doing engine stuff, there are often a lot of good moves, and so part of building that repertoire is trying to understand the meaning of each move, and then selecting one. Not necessarily just the best, because you could run it at 20 depth and you'll get one favorite, and then you can run it at 30 depth and get another, then you can run 40 depth and get another, then you run it at 41 depth and you get back that first move. So it's really a lot of times it's where you stop the eval. So all of those that are sort of equal-ish are all worthy candidates. And so I think part of the finesse of using the engine to do opening analysis is trying to understand each of the potential candidates and look to see what they're going for, and then deciding if those are the types of positions that you like to play and going down that line. And it's sort of painstaking work, because sometimes you find, all right, this I like this, I see what it's going for. And then you might be wrong. And then eventually, maybe 2 or 3 moves down, you see, okay, now this position, it gets to this very tricky part, maybe this tricky part with only moves that you no longer feel so comfortable with. And so you've got to back out and unwind your variation and be like, okay, what am I going to do now? And it's tough because some of those moves might have taken you 10 plus minutes to calculate at very high depth, or or 10 and not even including the amount you think about it before putting it in your notes. So yeah, but if you like it, like what that's saying, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. Like if you enjoy doing this opening prep, more power to you. I'm somewhere in the middle, maybe leaning more towards enjoying doing it. I enjoy doing it. I try not to do it as much because right now my focus is on improvement, and so I'm trying to do Tsume more, and game analysis, of course, and all this other stuff, and watching good games and whatnot. But I enjoy it. I'm just not. I don't think I'm good enough to say really make a contribution in the shogi world. Let's see. One question for Arjun you look to answer when prepping is: are there themes to why an opponent loses? That's a deeper thing. So that's like preparation. That's preparation beyond the opening. That's like mental preparation. So like you would know, if I'm playing Shogi Dad, maybe I am going to try to slow my game down. Maybe I'm going to try to, maybe I'll do opposing rook if that's in your repertoire. Maybe I'll do coward castle. Maybe I'll try that Ishikawa, approach. If he is winning, if he is winning and I'm dead lost, don't give up. Try to still maybe throw some generals in defense or whatever. Give me a chance. Like those types of mental things. Like you could review a player to see what some of their weaknesses are, and that's not just opening. That's weaknesses in how they play. Yeah, that's more difficult though. I think that requires a lot more opening stuff. I think that requires a lot more study of a player, and I don't know if that would be something you'd be willing to do for a single TTJ opponent. You've only prepared for Nyrock Tonoski since you wanted to help him learn. Oh, you read Smith's book on the Smith Mora and lost the state championship from playing it. Oof. So my opening prep, because I do love Chessable. So this is why I really like I Dream of Shogi's Shogi Craft site. I love Chessable, and even if it doesn't, even if it's not the optimal way of training, I did really well in some games against much stronger players than myself with my Scandinavian prep, because I've gone through 2 courses on Scandinavian, or at least, and I just, for whatever reason, I really enjoyed the process of doing these courses and then reviewing the lines. And yeah, so my opening prep has generally helped me. I think, and I think definitely in shogi, where it's unfortunately probably my strong suit. Like when I win, I am limping towards victory. Anish being a clown. Yeah, Anish being a clown, calling Magnus the world champion. He is, Anish kind of is. He is the jester, right? He's now the Twitter jester, or the X jester. Like he's in there for the hashtag engagement. He's in there for the eyeballs. Is he top 10 anymore? Let's take a look. 2700chess.com. Switch the scene. If I can find how to switch my scene. Oof. 2836. Oof. Get this out of here. Oof, Madon. Oof, that hurts. Body blow. Ooh. Hikaru is back up at over 2,800. Did he drop? Did he drop at all? Because he had that loss in a couple draws. Oh, interesting. They used to put the crown on 2,700 chess. They used to put the crown next to the world champ's name. Okay, Anish is 12. 12 with a bullet. Look at this guy. Aravind. He's gone up 33 spots. Woof. Woof. Pragnananda, he's up there at 7. Wow. This is a young Abdusattorov is 6. Wow. This is the young leaderboard. This is a young 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 young guys. Faruja is the old man in this group, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are all of them under 20? I don't think Faruja's under 20 anymore, is he? Oh, it says the age. 21. And Abdusattorov is 20. Oh, Eric Geisey's 21. Did not know that. Interesting, this Aravind player who's jumped 33 spots is 25. He's not even young. I mean, I'd kill to be 25. But he's not a kid. He's not an up-and-coming kid. Incredible. I have never heard this name, and I watch a lot of chess. This already happens before, thanks to the books. But now with Engine, people are just better at the game. Look into periodism books. Yeah, I think in chess that's certainly the case. Right? That people seem to be in agreement that players now are better than ever. And it's a lot of this, it's the ease of learning. You know, there's so many resources, and the engine is so... I'm stuttering again? Am I stuttering? What is going on? Is it this layout that makes me stutter? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Let me get my activity monitor. Weird. Strange. Yeah, we are stuttering again. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on here. Because it feels like there's, when I switch to this scene, weird stuff starts happening. Anyway. Let's go back to the Shogi Wars scene. Yeah, somehow this scene must be doing something. I don't know what. But it like slows down. So we'll see. We'll see if it slows down my machine just total. Like literally last week when this happened, I had to reboot. Thank you, live chess ratings. Because even after closing OBS and killing off the system processes and all this stuff, but it's yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So what were we talking about? Calling Magnus world champ. Well, that was a mistake. That was not an intentional shot, but I guess we can call it a shot. It was not intentional. Well, no. How about this? How about this sophisticated answer? In chess, once you are a world champ, you are always a world champ, much like a president. I think that's one of the chess cultural things. Unfortunately, Vladimir Kramnik is able to call himself world champion. These days, I guess he can say whatever he wants. In chess, it's like famous ones are just so tired of the game, and that's not any good for the game. There's no light in their games. That's yeah, well, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that yet. I don't know if I agree with that. Magnus is and keep in mind, I used to be, and I still am a fan of his, but I used to be even more of a fan. He's kind of a jerk. He's kind of been a jerk a lot lately when it comes to chess and when it comes to classical chess. He's as my grandma would say, he's gotten a little too big for his britches, and he tries to make everything about himself now. It seems, my perception, and I could be, what do I know? But I think when people start doing that, it can sometimes spiral, and I think that's what's happening now, where he was the best, he was clearly the best, and the pressure, everything like that, got to him a bit, and he doesn't enjoy it as much. So he stopped. He stopped. He made the choice to stop. But he still believes he's the best. And other people still believe that he's the best. And he is still the best. But maybe he's not trying as much now or training as hard now. So, eventually, my armchair psychologist, I'm putting on my armchair psychology hat or whatever. I think what we see from Magnus is just frustration. It's as you get older, believe me, I understand this. I think as you get older, you're not as good at the things. You're not as good at the things you used to be. People who don't have the same level of passion or talent or whatever as you start having better results than you. So even though Magnus gave up that world title, he still wants to be acknowledged as sort of the world champion. And so, I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and so you have these moments where Gukesh wouldn't just resign, and then what do I know? Maybe Magnus just brain farted. I don't know, but then he lost, and now he's mad. Like those are the times I think that I am most upset in shogi, is when I had a clear win and then I just was an idiot. So I think he used to be this great spokesman for the game. I think he's getting to be less of a great spokesman for the game. And yeah, as Todas is pointing out, FIDE is no help. But sometimes the high road maybe needs to be taken. I don't know. Yeah. Skykeeper, great to see you. Great to see you. Foradun. Now Foradun's misconstruing my words slightly. Because he's trying to be this sort of the jester of Twitter, right? He would agree with that. He is trolling nonstop. Not that I don't even follow him, but his messages still pop up occasionally, and it's just everything he says seems to be a troll. It seems to be engagement bait. Todowski, you can say you're the Queen of England, but that doesn't make it true. That's where you're wrong. Your Majesty, You'd be mad if organizers made you play against a serial cheater too. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. That's another thing. That's another thing. So, and I was on Magnus's side the entire time in the Hans Niemann thing, maybe to a fault. And I think now that sort of just spiraled. That disgust, the disgust of what happened in that game, or in that whole saga with Neiman. I think that broke Carlson in a way. I think it broke him. It may be small, but like I think mentally he's a little cracked. Everyone gets cracks in their mental state as they age. Not everyone, maybe, and maybe I'm speaking to personally. But I think a crack in his mental armor was made, and started suspecting more, and started being more convinced that he's still the best and he can't be losing, and just thinking he needs to show up to win. And it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. You think it was, his change. Yeah, those things don't reflect. Like, as dumb as FIDE is, that Blitz, the Rapid and Blitz World Championship behavior, that's just, hey Tulip, great to see you. As far as this shogi streamer is, the opinion of this shogi streamer, I think how he behaved, I don't want to say it's inexcusable. It doesn't reflect well on him. I think it doesn't reflect well on him in his current mental state or his happiness with the game. I think that's the thing, is that when he withdrew, he wore the jeans. He knew he knew he was gonna. It's like someone. I see a sign that says, if I see a sign that says, I don't know, I don't know, or no. Let's say I knew when I went to a party held by Japanese people, I knew I would have to take my shoes off when I go in the house. This is something I do normally, so it's not like that's what we do in our house as well. So it's not like it's anything, but I'm just setting up a scenario. It's like, if I would have gone to this party, I would have known that I would have taken my shoes off, and I intentionally walked through and didn't take my shoes off. And then when they ask me, I get mad. I put on a big show of being mad, and I just like, fine, I'm leaving. And they just storm out the door. And like that's what it felt like to me. That in conjunction with something he's done, this is not anything new, but coming late as someone who overvalues being punctual, just as a sign of respect. I think the fact that he comes late so often, maybe it's a mind game, and maybe who am I? He's one of the greatest players ever. So if not the greatest player ever. So if this mind game is working, maybe that's just part of chess. Maybe that's just part of chess. Maybe those mind games are part of chess. I think you put this together. You put his behavior of being late. You put his behavior of intentionally baiting FIDE. He's baiting FIDE with this false insult. He's taking insult falsely. And then he's got to deal with these cheaters, and he doesn't have his title anymore, and it's I think it's just adding up. It's adding up, and then banging the table and getting mad. Like, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse, but it seems like it's spiraling a bit. It seems to me like it's spiraling a bit. And now he's married and he's going to have a kid. It's not going to get any easier for him. So, he's going to descend the ranks as much more. And you think he was theatrical on purpose, obviously. So I'm never sure if you're sarcastic, but I think he sort of was theatrical. And I'm not a fan of the language. I call me old fashioned. I'm not a fan of him dropping an F-bomb. Yes, he's Norwegian, so English is not his first language. So sometimes these types of vulgarities don't carry the same weight to people who are outside the US, but I would, as much as I say I would like to see more personality from the Shogi pros, I would not mind a little more class from, the GOAT. From someone who's always had a lot of class. But I guess that's the thing. It's easy to have class when you win every game. It's easy to have class when you're the one who gets to have the smile, who has the smile on the face. Ninworld, you say, you think it's normal to have ups and downs. A few years ago, Carlsen lost against a 100 elo lower opponent with the Cochrane Gambit, and everyone was losing his mind back in the day. Oh, I don't remember that. Interesting. Yeah, ups and downs, absolutely. I don't know what this Norway chess, it doesn't feel like it's a down. It feels like he's triumphant. And he was crushing Gukesh. That's my understanding from what I have read about it. And that he completely outplayed Gukesh the entire game. And it was basically a mini massacre. And that's the thing, Ivan. I think he's not having fun. I think he's just not having fun. And so when you're not having fun, I think it's very easy to slip into those moments. It's very easy to not be this great ambassador for the game. And I think it's real easy for that to become bitterness. And he said he wasn't going to play classical. Then this tournament is in Norway, so I don't know if this is obligations or if he just loves the event. But it's got a nice format. But this Norway chess, and he was triumphant. He was incredible. He's doing great. And it's like, wow, he still is the GOAT. GOAT is not a temporal thing. Well, he could be bad now and still be the GOAT. But yeah, he's showing that he's still the best. But now it's got a now I'm guessing I'm putting on my armchair psychologist hat again, not knowing this guy, never even seeing this guy in person. I have no idea about this guy, and so I'm projecting some of my feelings on him. But this loss is going to bother him potentially for a long time. This might be his last real hurtful loss, where it's like, he wants to show that he's so much better than Gukesh, and he is, and he did show it, except he messed up, except he brain farted, and now people can nag and say, Gukesh won the last game, so Gukesh is the deserving champion, and he's better than Magnus. So now everyone can get in his ear, his virtual ear online, and so this is a loss he will never be able to live down, unless he plays Gukesh again, unless he plays Gukesh like a couple times and just crushes him again. So it's real, and he doesn't like playing classical chess. So, the odds of that happening are getting lower and lower, and he's getting older, and he's going to have more family obligations. Hey, Eloy, is there some chess drama you haven't heard about? Yes. Magnus Carlsen in the Norway chess tournament, he the format, I believe, is that each player plays each other twice. He won, and the way it works is if you win, you get 3 points. If you draw, each player gets 1 point, and then you play an Armageddon game, and that person, the winner of that, gets half. So if you draw, you still get a point, but it heavily favors win. So he obliterated Gukesh. He won against Gukesh the first time. The second time, he obliterated him, but Gukesh wouldn't resign, and then Magnus brain farted and lost. That's my perception based on everything I've read about it and everything I've seen, is that he just completely brain farted and lost the game, and then he banged the table. He banged the table in disgust, quickly composed himself enough to shake hands, and then stormed out. So that's the drama. That's this week's chess drama. That's this week's chess drama. I'm glad it doesn't have anything to do with Kramnik. So that's it. Yeah. But fun times. It's probably going to help their ratings. I wonder how that Norway chess was doing before and after. They probably love it. They probably love it. Maybe he just had to somewhere to go in a hurry. Yes. Yeah, he had a skiing appointment. He can use the excuses for why he's late. It was raining. I was skiing. He said maybe he can use that in reverse. I've got a ski. I've got a ski match. What do skiers have? They have ski dates, ski appointments. What do they have? Skibidi. They have skibidi. Yes, they have skibidi. The cam was focused on him since he left the studio, but he didn't seem very fine. Yeah, he was not very fine. Yeah, I think he's really mad at himself for losing that game. Gukesh handled it like a champ. Kudos to him. He's such a solid kid. He seems to be such a mentally strong and stable kid. It's incredible. My understanding is, though, that in the past, I think I've seen this. It's not as bad, I think. But there is a video, I believe Gukesh, and keep in mind, he's a kid still. And this was, I think, years ago. So he was even more of a kid. 18 isn't a kid. But I think he banged the table against Aragaisi, I want to say. I think. So I think he has done that before. But anyway, he's a great young champ. He's a great young champ, and sure, he's not the best player in the world right now. He's just not. But he's very close. He's very close, and he's deserving of the title. You can only beat the people that they put in front of you. Yeah, Gukesh seems very cool to me. Very, very, and I like the way his family supports him, and yeah, I like Gukesh. For the same reason, I like Pragnananda a lot. Both Pragnananda pros, because their family is so important, and they seem so close. So I like those silly aspects because I'm old. But they're both, they all seem very respectful. Yeah. So anyway, what is going on here? What is going on here? We didn't really review this game. We didn't review this one. So I know that Origawa Moniwa agreed that this move was pretty good. That this move was good. I think I had to. I don't think I could allow this token. I don't think I could allow this token. So I don't think I can take with the silver. So we do this. And then I take. I'm nervous, but I think I'm fine. And then okay, so I'm gonna go up. So Origawa Moniwa says when 8/8 king, you think 4/6 pawn. Wait. Oh, that's not 8/8. Okay. A 4/7 pawn. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. So what is he going to do? Well, he can't do that because then I do this. Would he just take the knight? He can't do that because then I do this. Yeah, I love that move. I love that move. I love that move. But I did this. Wait, what happened? Weird. It left that piece there. I've never seen that bug before. It left that piece there. Hold on. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this again. What? So how can I reproduce this? Well, sorry for me trying to do this bug. So now there. Okay. If you're in the edit mode and then you use the keys, it leaves your edit there. I would report the bug to them, but they've ignored my other bug report, and they've ignored my other emails. So you know, what are you gonna do? All right. Well, make a viral video. You won't believe this bug. Magnus Carlsen's face is going to be the thumbnail for it. I'll learn from Levi Rosman. So you think take the knight and then knight 6/3? Yeah, that looks good. That does look good. That I'm trying to go back. I think I actually welcome that, though. I think I welcome that. Oh. So he drops. I think what I'm scared about is the next move, pawn push. The one thing that I don't like about this pawn is that it eliminates my idea of doubling up the rooks and going there. And I didn't take it when I could have. But anyway, maybe I just don't need to do that. So how would I... So how do I prevent a free silver? It's my move. If I come up, that pawn drop, you don't like that it costs a tempo? So where is that pawn drop? Wait. Oh, the pawn drop on 6 on 4-7. It does solidify though. Yeah. I guess of moves that I have, I think I like it more than my king move. And I won't mention that there is also the underlying current of the fact that the opponent has 1 minute and 16 seconds left. And so I am looking to increase my king safety and avoid the what am I trying to say? The ease of getting a lot of pieces in his hand. But anyway. I think Koshiro had a line. Rook 5-8 instead of silver 6-6. Rook 5-8 instead of silver 6-6. But that loses the rook. Wait, right? Wait, where so that must be back here. Oh, this rook. Okay. Yeah, so here, at least I did consider it. But I didn't think, I thought I'm going to give him a free piece and he can easily drop a pawn here once this is exchanged. Maybe I'd be willing to give him a rook. So what do I do here? Do I come up like this? This does look good. This does look good. Do I give this? Do I give this, or do I? I don't think I can take another move because then, well, I can't because he'll just take. This feels good. This feels good regardless. Hmm. You could keep the fourth file open by pushing the fifth file pawn and drop on the fifth. Let's go back there. Let's go back there. Kudos to my opponent for the way they handled this. Oh, well, before we even get there, so this was my plan from the beginning, is to try to make this sack, and then. Did I bungle this? Is there something better here? Hmm. I'm gonna spend a Kishin buck on this one.
願いを叶えてやろう。
55銀
Go
先手優勢です。
Gin. So he can't push a pawn because I could just take, then he redrops, I come back. So this accomplishes what I wanted to do without giving up a bishop. Wow. Maybe threatening pawn 2-4 if the bishop ends up on 5-5. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this threat never came to fruition because he still had his guys over here. But once he moved his silver later, I think that would have been an option. Wait, so what is the line? The line is, and there's a bishop. I take. So he protects. Get my king safety going. And there's the 2-4. And there it is. And there it is. Yeah. The double and What are we doing? Are we going to... Are we going to make a battery? Are we going to make a battery here? Or are we taking... Get the pawn drop. Take. Or are we taking and then going back here? Can you do Kishin analysis of a Kishin analysis? Because the double pawn tactic is... The double pawn tactic is usually done for a reason. It feels a little weaker than it could be because the king is not in the center. So if we take anything we take here, it doesn't come with check. We're out of pawns now. Yeah. Yeah, how do I get a pawn? But it's gotta happen now, because otherwise he's gonna push that his pawn to reload. I think he's gonna like, hey Nova SWAT. Yeah, we're still on the same game. Still on the same same game. We had our brief diversion into chess talk. Wait, were you here when we were talking about about were you your question about not reviewing, about preparing for your opponent? I talked about that. Were you here during that? We had a pretty long discussion about that. So if not, check out the VOD on YouTube. But you know, not that there's any major wisdom in there. But we definitely talked about that. Okay. Yeah, if we bring up the pawn to try to get that knight in, I would think that he's just going to do this and then redrop or something. You might be playing your opponent tonight. Oh, nice. Good luck. What's the time control on that? Is that a 1560 or is that a 3060? Speaking of games, we haven't done our WSL recap. So I'm going to change my scene to this. I don't want to go with the full screen one, although this is pretty full screen. I'm terrified that this is now going to be horrible performance. Moving around, I'm moving around to see if there's stuttering. I got to delete that other layout. Is so basic. It's so basic. I'll have to just check the settings. Maybe rook takes 2/6 seems premature. Well, but if I don't, then he gets the silver drop. So going back to that. My concern there is, he comes up. If I do something else, he's got this. I mean, obviously, I don't mind going over here, but it makes me think that there must be something I missed about this the reason for that tactic. WSL? Shoot. Is it PHP? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, recent games. If the move is knight 3-7, then knight 4-5. Yeah, and pawn 5-3 follows. Yeah, getting that knight up is massive. It definitely is massive. I agree. But I think if we were going to do that, though, we probably should have just done it. Just rather than give up those 2 pawns. Because with no pawns in hand, our attack might peter out a little bit in the middle. Maybe. All right, so this is the weekend. Foradun, so we've seen Foradun with a masterful performance. Everything is showing up here. So we've seen Foradun. These are the recent games. And Group E, Chilenito defeated Osama. Okay, I don't know these people. Interesting. Fujiwara Miura. I wonder if this is a Brazil player. Ali Vandy versus, this is Slovakia, I believe. Yeah. So that team won. What team is that? That's Division D. Let's take a look at that. What team that is. That's it's United States 2. That's on Turtwig's team. So Turtwig had already won. I think they're 0-2. Yeah, they're 0-2, but this would be their first win. Yeah, Turtwig won, Olivandi won, and then okay, so it was important. It was an important game. Poland 2. Snowpiercer R won the game. Poland 2 gets the victory. Snowpiercer R. Living in New York, playing for Canada. Who do we have? I don't know these players. Who Dares wins? Is that is not Tulip's team? Yes, it is Tulip's team. I think that is. What's it saying? It is Tulip's team. So they won because Tulip won. So they are 2 wins. They have 2 wins. Australia 2 is still in the hunt. Dan 123 lost. Goldie 6-4, I believe, is a Shogi Harbor member. I believe that's Malaysia. Won their game. Gost won. And Skykeeper lost. No. Guatemala 1 is defeated. 0-3. This is the biggest shock of the WSL season for me so far. What is going on? The pharmacist has won all his games, all 3 games, but Skykeeper and Ghost 1 can't get on the board. Oh, that hurts. I'm not stopping cheering. Although maybe I should. Maybe I'm bad luck. Maybe my cheering is bad luck. So we saw this. Panic won against Scamex. So let's see what Panic is playing these days. Is this is it normal third file? Yeah, that's this is it. Is this called normal third file? This is the third file. I don't want to say enjoy. I don't enjoy playing it as much against it as much as the other way. But I've got some I've built up some. Feel like I've built up some tricks against it. Interesting. What's the meaning of this? So, I'm not a third file player, but my immediate instinct is to do this. Just win the pawn. Oh no, the rook is here. The rook is here. The rook is that's why the rook is there. That's why the rook is there. Okay. Yeah, this though would have protected against this. Like he wouldn't be able to push there because then we would get the. Oh. Is that just a waiting move? It's like a vertical. It's like a vertical King Muso. Vertical King Muso. What listeners are you yeah, Ghost1 and Skykeeper are their viewers here. Yeah, okay, so this is yeah, this is the Q kind of mistake where once the game slows down a bit and then you're not sure what to do, so you make a move and you sort of blow up your position. Maybe this looks like what I would think of as sort of the Q moves. Although, yeah, like why did the rook go back? Why did the rook go back? Anyway. Yeah, and that drop is obviously just going to get taken. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for these opportunities. I guess first you've got this. Also potentially got the silver drop. I don't think the silver drop is good here. I'm gonna guess that this is probably like if you have a Waryuchi no Gin, you do a Waryuchi no Gin. And that is what Time Zombie did. Okay. Pulling the... That seems the wrong direction too, right? I think the opponent should have gone here. So pulling the gold away from the king. Sacking. Yeah. Huge threat. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice technique. Congratulations to the team. Undefeated this week. So in the end, we didn't need Foradoon's big win. I think they just won 3-0. Speaking of Magnus Carlsen, his coach won Peter Heine. Is he 3 Dan still? Outspoken FIDE critic and Magnus Carlsen's coach, Peter Heine Nielsen. 1846, yeah, that's 3 Dan. Koshiro with the big victory. I saw the end of this game. Oh, Berserk lost. This is New Zealand, right? Yes. YKT and Koshiro. They just don't lose. Brazil 1 just doesn't lose many games. Umbreon, famous player from Singapore with a big win. Spinal Tap. Yeah. Spinal Tap lost for the team. That's all right. Still one of the number ones in our hype. Is it the real Peter Heine? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He had a streamed game. I believe that was commentated by a pro and maybe like a co-commentary of, I can't remember who it was, and Carolina, where he was playing another chess grandmaster, Matthew Sadler from the UK. I believe there may be a video of that. But yeah, Peter Heine has been playing shogi for at least a few years now, I think. On the old Chicken Chess podcast, he's discussed it. Magnus doesn't seem to like chess at all, or shogi at all, but Peter Heine has mentioned it. Yeah, from Denmark. Description: kind of better at chess. Yeah. Yeah, so I pretty much only see him playing in WSL, but it's exciting when he pops up. But yeah, very outspoken in his criticism of FIDE, and yes, both of FIDE and of well, I'm not even going to say the word because I don't know if this country, just mentioning this country, I don't know if this will get you blocked on Twitch or on YouTube or anything like that. So I won't even mention the country that Peter Heine is also very critical of. Vladimir Kramnik's country. When Magnus stormed off, he gave a quick pat on the back to Gukesh. He did. I saw the handshake. I didn't notice the pat. It just seemed like he gave the handshake and then just ran. You know, that patented Magnus fast walk. I don't know if that would be good or bad. Would the quick pat, would that be good or bad? Yeah, you know, I just assume he's so mad at himself. You know, it has nothing, well, other than the fact that he really wanted to win, I think, against Gukesh. Like, he's not mad at Gukesh for not resigning, I think. He's mad at himself for not winning the game. And just sort of disappointed. Real disappointed. All right, so that was it. That was it for this month's. So what are the divisions? At the end of the month, what are the standings? Division A, Brazil won, United States won. So Brazil won. Their only loss was the game Koshiro didn't play. Wait, no, that's not true. Takashima-san lost? Or did he not play yet? He hasn't played yet. He has not played yet. When is their upcoming game? Okay, so it looks like they're going to get a walkover on this one. So this is not Takashima-san's fault. This is the opponent. The opponent has not responded. So his opponent has not responded. But the Koshiro game, I think he just missed it. He just missed it. Yeah, it was eventually given. The game was eventually given. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That could matter in the grand scheme of things. Probably not, but every point matters. France is in there. They're not too far behind. Oh, this is not the I expected. I can't remember who Carolina's husband's username is. Telemarch. Okay, Division B. France won. He's not in this one either. Shogi Ban. I love that username. Poland won, always strong. Yeah, Sastis. Brazil 4. Brazil 4 is the team with Angelito, I believe. Capivara do Brazil, though I don't think he's played. So Angelito, yeah, Led Zeppelin. Boy, this team is stacked. This team is so good. They're gonna be in WSL Division A, I think, next year. So what was? But they lost to Germany too. Led Zeppelin didn't play. Oh no. Melkor didn't play. Oh no, Melkor's in Germany 1. Ooh, boy. Maybe I spoke too soon. Brazil 2, I believe, is Tokyo Peach's team. Yes. Tokyo Peach, Isabel Loyola, Berserk, Bruising. Olive Maicon is Bruising. Because she hasn't played, but New Zealand already won. Not a good month for the Division B Brazil teams. United States 3 here. This is Z-Kid, Fordoon, and Panic. Among others. Yeah, they've got to be a strong favorite. Very strong favorite. Who else has played? Synchro. Synchro has played. Synchro has played and won the game. So Synchro is still active. I'm always, but it did lose to the Pharmacist first. Yeah, because the Pharmacist is undefeated. Oh, and Teledont is also out of Seattle, has also played for this team. It's tough when a team has so many players. Division D, Poland 2, very good, very strong. Who's in Great Britain too? Clawmac? Yeah, Clawmac, Grandmaster Sadler. I don't know if he's playing much. Turtwig is undefeated so far across 3 months for the US team. But his team has not won. Oh no, they did. They won that first game. Oh, my corrections to me. I thought the United States 2 had lost every game despite Turtwig winning every game. That's round 3. So this is new information. This is new. So they finally got a win. Yeah. You wonder how all these players learn openings if they don't all know Japanese. Well, there are videos. And maybe they just play. Maybe that's why the West has so many Furibisha players. It does seem like a lot of the Furibisha lines do require a lot less prep, or at least they're a lot less trappy. Or it's more difficult to trap them, it seems. Maybe? And then Division E, Ukraine, Chile, and France. Who's Brazil 5? Flavio Fam. I don't know anyone else. Oh, Onigiri is on this one. Tokyo Peach's sister, if I'm not mistaken. Atari. Silly Atari. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the WSL recap. When you don't have a lot of prep, game is more creative. I don't know. Would you? Is that true? Like, if there's not a lot of prep, let's say someone's a 4th file player or a 3rd file or an opposing rook player, especially, so let's say 4th or opposing rook. And so let's say there isn't as much prep. Oh, I do want to look at Mexico too, see how DrLennon did. Friend of the channel, DrLennon, won the game. They won. So they won against Brazil 5. Congrats to them. That's their first win. That's their first win of the year. DrLennon has had 2 wins, but would you think those are more creative or are those less creative? I guess they're creative in different ways. Like if the game becomes a slow slog where subtle pawn pushes and like bishop readjustments and little strategic jostling is taking place, is that more or less creative? I think they're just creative in different ways. It's certainly not as gunslinging. In Road to Showdown, Episode 1, Wojtek mentions that static rook theory is constantly changing and a need to keep up with it. That's I haven't seen that episode, but that sounds like a lot of what I hear people saying. And it's amazing to me because when I started Urashino Ryu, so here's how off base I was with what the things that I had read early on, I think were so misleading. But anyway, the idea was I thought static rook was going to be the slow, boring, the slow and boring, easy path to getting into good positions in shogi, versus Furibisha, central rook, 3rd file rook, sort of gunslinger, like aggressive stuff. And boy, that opinion changed fast. And I think I think I said that like early on in my Urashino Ryu days. Like these games are so sharp, and I think it was I Dream of Shogi that said, yeah, like static rook games are incredibly sharp and tactical, and the theory, the theory changing. Yeah, I mean it's what the pros are playing the most, so you get all that side of it too. You're just wondering, but even with prep, game could be creative. You think it depends more on the player? Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And even with prep, like picking different lines or attacking different things, like there's so many possible moves in shogi. It's ridiculous. And I think that's one of those areas where sometimes looking with the engine or reviewing at the engine might lead one astray, is that the engine will have some clear favorites in a lot of positions, but something 500 points worse or 300 points or 200 points worse might actually be totally fine, because it's got a lot of creativity behind it. Like there's a plan. First of all, someone does this with a plan, and some of these things are very difficult to defend. So it's like, yeah, the engine may prefer this, its top move by 300 points, a pretty big number. But for a human to play the lesser move, it puts the opponent sometimes in really tricky spots. And if you feel comfortable in that position, you're going to play better. So I think that is one of the things with one of the downsides sort of doing engine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ivan, it's like a superhuman pro. It's like the best pro that's ever lived. And it's like a pro that speaks Japanese, because I can't understand it. So it's a pro that's making moves, and the way I have to try to understand it is to try to look at the variations, or I have to use my own brain, use my own wits, which is not always going to be so good. You think someday we'll realize that evaluations need to be at least 2D? For example, a lower bound and an upper bound. That's an interesting idea. Well, I don't know how they would. How would they? How would a computer do that? Like, this move is clearly the best if you play perfect moves after. Like, say this move is, let's say it's 500 points better than any other move if you play the subsequent 20 moves perfectly. But it has a real bad drop if you don't. It's like, if you make this move and you see all the subsequent moves, you win. But if you make this move and mess up on move 16 after, you lose. And that would be, so, I don't know if this is part of like what pro chess players do or what pro shogi players do, but it's something to a small extent that I do when I'm building my lines, is that when I look at the engine's moves, and when I'm deciding between them, I step ahead one and I see, like, well, what does the opponent have to do to this? And like, if the opponent has an only move, that almost, I won't say it makes it my number one move, but that significantly weights it in my mind. So it's like, okay, yeah, this move might be slightly worse to the engine, but the opponent has some tricky ideas, and if they don't play the exact right move, now all of a sudden, instead of being, say this move I selected was 100 points worse than the top move, but if I make that 100 points worse move, the opponent, if they don't play the very best move, I'm all of a sudden like 400 points better or 500 points better. Like, I think that's usually a clear thing, especially if the ideas of how to convert that look clear. So it's fun. I obviously I'm not very good, but I enjoy that game, that aspect of it. Okay, the professional chess players consider the fallback variation so they know the lower bound. I don't know if that's something like what I'm doing. You'd need a policy to you say you would need a policy to rank moves based upon risk preferences or something. Yeah. And I think you could probably program. I am surprised, and I'm fine with it because I do this work on my own, and I feel like this is one of my value adds to the evaluation. But I am surprised that, as far as I know, the chess engines and the shogi engines, they don't clarify moves as tricky or as challenging. Like they just will give, here's the best move with perfect play, here's the second best move with perfect play, here's the third best move with perfect play. They don't say, this is the first best move and this is the second best move, but it is extremely challenging. Like you'd have to create some sort of challenge metric, but the challenge metric I think would be part of looking at the possible responses that the opponent has, and then the evaluation swing between those responses. I think so. It'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to be like, this is the best move, but this C4 move, the opponent only has one response, and it is not at all. It is not at all obvious. Like, those are the diamonds. Those are the diamonds in the rough where when you're doing this engine work and you see a move and the opponent's possible move, the opponent is limited in possible moves. Like they only have one good move, and that move, you don't understand it. Like that's one that is like, when I see that, I'm like really happy because I feel like I've done my work. I've put in the work and I've found something. You're panning for gold or whatever. You're panning for gold, and all of a sudden there's a nugget where the opponent only has one move, and it's a tough move for me to see. You had a Stockfish maintainer yell at you for considering changing how search, upper bound, etc. were presented. Software wars. Another opinion, if you want to say another machine can change the order. Yeah, or another engine. Another engine. That's the thing that chess has had a lot of nicely. I guess shogi has some to a certain extent, but like, I know that the pros, or at least they used to, the chess players, they used to check on Stockfish, on Leela. So you look at both sides, and you can make things a little more not interesting, but you can make them a little more, you can get a little more informed. It sounds like most moves for you. You collaborated with Woogles, the Scrabble engine team, to solve endgames with more accurate aspiration search. I believe you've talked about aspiration search before. Can you I can't think of the word. Not expostulate. Can you elaborate on aspiration search? Nova SWAT. Yes, I have been looking for contempt factor as well. I really wish there was a contempt factor, because that's what the way I want to play. I would like to jack up the contempt factor when going for Urshino Ryu lines, but I am not finding any way to do it. I had thought that Yanara O was basically had started with Stockfish, so I was surprised that it doesn't have it, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, I would love to have contempt factor on the show, on Yanara O. I would, like I said, I would use the engine with a higher contempt factor to try to make these attacking, challenging Urashino Ryu lines. Okay, so the key concept for aspiration search comes down to carefully understanding upper-lower bounds and implementing alpha beta minimax with hash tables. Interesting. Well, what does aspiration? What are you aspiring for? What is, using the word aspiration? What is the aspiration that you're finding moves with higher upper and higher lower, like a tighter bound? Maybe, yeah, Eloy. That's exactly what that is exactly what I am trying to do with my research. Is that I am trying to find the best move, the best move, according to the engine, that I understand, or that I can come up with plans for and understand, that leads to a position that I feel comfortable in, that number 4 is the trickiest for the opponent to deal with. And those are in no particular order. So I would probably put number 4 at 1 or 2 for me. And liking the position being, or making, I can understand what it's going for is probably number 1. Number 2 is number 2 and 3 are probably tied. That the difficulty for the opponent and getting into a position I like. You remember the old Magnus game, that young Magnus Carlsen game, that mobile game? The engine gave him 1 non-perfect move each game, which made the game totally different. And Todosky, you say, once you find a good move, if you have time and energy motivation, if you're trying to win, you look for alternatives candidates which the opponent may have overlooked. Yeah. If you can do that, you become like a real difficult player to handle. Or like even just mentally and emotionally, I want to say, is that when I am playing someone, and even in there are a lot of positions in a game of shogi, and in a lot of the position, and in some of those positions, when I calculate, of course the opponent could do something crazy, but some of these positions I feel are pretty solid. I'm pretty confident in what my opponent is going to do. And then when they do something else, when they do something different, that's when all of a sudden it's like, oh man, this is a creative, challenging player. This is a creative, challenging player. I mean, amateur players aren't frequently looking for all candidate moves. I mean, not for lack of effort sometimes. I think it's just lack of vision. At least speaking for myself. A lot of times I want to see a breadth of candidates. But some of these moves, they just don't even, I just don't even, like, obviously you cannot brute force every possible move. So some of these creative moves, or what I think that's kind of, a creative is a relative term. I think that's how I call a creative opponent, is that they're coming up with moves that, boy, I didn't even consider, especially in positions that I thought were pretty straightforward for them to do the thing that I thought. And it definitely puts me on the back foot, because now I'm thinking like, oh boy, my opponent, the position may be equal, but I'm slightly ahead, whatever. But this opponent is seeing more of the game than I am. And then I start, and then the mental and psychological gymnastics start going on, and start maybe psyching myself out. Yeah, you love patterns. Well, that's the game. So I think a lot of the players who like these kinds of games enjoy pattern type work. Yeah. Yeah, I really wish Ayaka Yokota, Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. I really wish Jack-o'-lantern would translate and modernize that Proverbs book. I'll put it up again. Share the I share this link, but I don't read it because I read the proverb, but I don't use any of the explanation because the diagrams are crazy town, and the descriptions have chess notation. So I could download this whole thing and run it through my I wrote a basic dumb chess to shogi notation converter, which I've used on a different, I can't remember what book it was. It was that defending book, and that works, but it wouldn't fix these diagrams. So Jack-o'-lantern being the kind of the resident expert Japanese speaker and person who likes to educate with in shogi, I think I would love a project like this. Obviously, he'd have to get some sort of rights, and maybe no one would even respond. But I would love to have this in book form. It doesn't load for you. It's not secure. Yeah, the Todovsky. There are more proverbs there. I also have this in my history, but these problems are all annotated. Have these extensive commentaries. Sometimes just having the proverb is good, but with the commentary, it's incredible. So let me try to open this. So here's what it looks like. It's let me just make sure. Yeah, shogi proverbs with commentaries. And then so we get like, here's an example. The pawn is worth 1,000 generals. And so you've got the proverb, but then you've got this. If anyone in all of humanity can make sense of this, wow, without putting it on a board, wow. I like this is just a blur of asterisks and letters to me. But then you get all this great commentary, but like 2E, drop on 3C, G-3A. So if we can get the diagrams made and the notation fixed, and then put in a book, like it would be, I think it'd be worth its weight in gold. I'd be first in line to buy that. The patterns, one learning Anaguma. Oh, yeah, Anaguma has a bunch of different patterns. Yeah, not that you kind of have to learn, but you really should learn. There are a bunch of patterns, both that help for both defending and attacking. JSA 8Dan Masahiko Urano Sensei wrote about proverbs in his 99 book, Tiny Dictionary of Shogi Proverbs. You can make sense of it. It's rough. It is very rough. Yeah, WB, like it. I mean, obviously, I would get better with practice, but like WB, so it's using white, which I don't use anyway. Sente Gote. My notation fixer also changes white and black to Sente Gote, or Gote Sente. So W and B for white and black, which already is visual clutter because it's extra characters on the screen, and it's not Gote Sente, and then B and K, and it's just like, okay, I cannot visually parse this. I just cannot visually parse this. I'm looking at this right now. I'm trying to figure out like what Is there a castle here? I'm trying to visually parse this. I don't think this is a castle. I'm looking at the Gote side. I don't think this is. It's got the gold on 3-2 and the gold on 4-3. It's a real strange. Yeah, Origato Manawa. Yes. Yeah, so old English shogi writing used to use black and white for sente and gote. And they used this chess notation, this 3C, 5F, 5E instead of 5-5. I don't read anything like that. I just don't like it. I don't like this. I think in terms of number. For Armando, welcome to the channel. Do I have on hand the original Japanese website this was based? Oh, I do not, but I wonder if there's a reference here. Is there a reference to it? Let's go back. This is the Urano book that Todowski is talking about. Okay, so I guess it's a book. It's this book. Yeah, no link, I guess, for the Japanese. There's got to be a way to find it. I guess if you know the shogi, if you know the kanji for this. Maybe that would, although it's also possible it's it's out of print. Oh, you did find the book in an eShop. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if my Navi has a lot of that stuff. So dig through. Urano, I think, has written a large number of. I believe Urano has written a large amount of literature, shogi literature. So it's maybe just a matter of narrowing it down. But yeah, gosh, I would love this. I would love this. Avoid a sitting king. This position cracks me up. The avoid a sitting king. There's so many pieces on here. This diagram is so full. It's so full. Like, how can anyone visually parse this? Oh, that's the link to the original. Oh, weird cover. I would expect a more sort of classical cover. Book cover. That's really nice. Ooh. Yeah, these are great. These are great. Yeah, he is a towering figure in shogi publishing. Yeah. He has a ton of Tsume books, right? Well, Storming the Mino is Kaneko, right? Kaneko is Storming the Mino Castle. Is Urano involved in this? I don't see any mention of him. Yeah, and Hidechi, also another legendary figure. All these guys are legendary. Yeah, the colored. Urano is the guy with all the colored Tsume books. I follow him on Twitter. He likes cats also. I think he mostly posts photos of his cats now, or he does. he occasionally, I think he does, he has photos of his cats, and then he has photos of the books. I think he signs them to sell them. So he seems to be doing very well with his Dume books. I have at least 5 or 6 of his Dume books. Like I've got a couple 7s. I've got 2 of the 7 books. I've got, I think, 2 of the 3 books. I've got, I think, at least 1 of the 5s and 1 of the 1s. So that's only 6. That's only 6. But yeah. Yeah, his are great. They're just great. I'm doing the 7s now. The 5, I had started a 5, but had been given some advice to jump up to 7s, to put more work, to put more exercise on my visualization, my board visualization. So I've been doing 7s. And but like if I go in a plane or if I go out on a vacation or whatever, I'll bring one of the mate in 3s with me. Just because I don't want to sit too long, you know, when I'm at in a plane or somewhere like on vacation. I don't want to. I don't think I can focus that long. So I want to keep active, but oh, so what is this? This is Ceiling Muscle. This Ceiling Muscle DVD book. Oh, I've seen this. This is a beginner's book, right? This is there was a player a player at one of our shogi clubs. She came to the, stepping back, she's from Japan, and she was visiting for a year, I think. But anyway, so she came to the club every week, and just recently went back to Japan because the school year started in April. And but anyway, she had that book, and she was recommending it to some other beginning players there, and she was going through it. And I think a bunch of them went and watched the DVD like together. I didn't, because I live so far from there, so I couldn't take extra time to go watch the DVD. But yeah, she liked that book. She's the person who told me his Twitter account, and yeah, it looked good. You know, I was flipping through the pages. It looked real good. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's amazing. And you know, those books being puzzle books, they don't necessarily need translation at all. As long as you can read the Japanese notation, you're totally fine. So, all right. Good stuff. Very good stuff. I think this is going to be a short day for me now. I think this is just going to be it. Just the 3 games. Like I'm so glad we had all these discussions. Oh, you'll reach out to me to Discord. You're Japanese speaker, and amazing. Please do. Yeah, thank you. I'm curious how you found the channel. I'm curious. It always, especially, you know, on YouTube especially, but also on Twitch, I'm curious how people discover this. Because like some of the videos or some of the streams, I get someone coming on and asking like, you know, what is this game? And I'm always like curious, like how did they even fall upon this? Oh, long-time lurker. Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's going to be it for me for today. I think I'm just going to get some tea. I'm going to lie down and relax a bit, see how things go, and then be back tomorrow. So fortunately, I was able to fortunately was able, I think, to get two and one. Yeah, and make up some ratings. So it was lucky. Had some good games. Lost to the Shodan, won against a 1Q and a Shodan. So that's a good day of work for me. So I will take it, and then I'm going to relax and do this. So appreciate everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and enjoy your shogi. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hope your week starts off on a strong foot, and thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Bye.